な、俺は多分、学校を休んだんだよ。風邪なんだと思う。
My memory was scattered all over my brain, like powder. I could see myself standing in front of the door. Mion was there, and someone else was standing there too. I think it was Rana.
それでミオンのやつ、お見舞いのおはぎだって言って持ってくるんだよ。今日言ってるのと同じで、おばあちゃんが作ったって言ってた気がする。
それで？
うん。それで、そのおはぎを食べるんだよ。二人を返した後に。それでさ、おはぎの中からここから先は間違いない。漫画の受け売りだよ。多分、昔読んだ漫画のエピソードと記憶が混同してるんだ。そんなことがあるわけない。
Just say it.
圭一、話を続けるのです。おはぎを食べて、中から？
ああ、いや、俺が小学校の頃に読んだ怖い漫画にさ、ハンバーグの中に裁縫針が混ぜられているっていう話があったんだよ。シオンもさっき言ってたろ？小さい頃に怖がらされるとトラウマになって残るっていうやつだよ。
I didn't remember much about that comic. I think it was about this girl who had an accident and had a grudge against the person who caused the injury on her face. It was a really cheap plot now that I think about it. But since I was still a little kid, that comic really scared me. In one chapter, the girl casts a curse on the guy's food. He eats a burger with sewing needles inside it, and he goes all, "Yeah!" Something like that. It still freaked me out. The image was so grotesque and shocking to me. That grew into a kind of trauma. And for a while, I searched for sewing needles in my food every time I ate something. I couldn't eat burgers for a while for that reason. No, I don't think that's it. You specifically found a sewing needle in that. But my parents got concerned, and my hunger overcame the trauma. Eventually, that experience disappeared into the flow of time. Oh, so it was... Okay, so it was a real thing. Was it?
今でもさ、ちょっとでも怪しいシチュエーションがあると、針が混じってるかもしれないなって考えちゃうんだよ。
Or was this the tomfoolery of the mind? Like your mind is creating like a reason for this weird discrepancy in the memory, but it's not true. Like you never had like a trauma for needles. Like it happened one, like, okay, actually, no, it did not happen. There was no sewing needle like at all. It's just that you do remember thinking there was a sewing needle. And now after all these chapters, you're thinking that that memory of you thinking there was like any sewing needle, that never happened like at all. And it was something that you created in like during childhood, which makes you think that it happened like later. Or it's a little bit confusing, but you get what I mean.
もちろん、ちょっと考えるだけだぜ。みんなの弁当をつっつくとき、いちいち中身を改めてたら失礼だもんな。針を混ぜるなんて危ないいたずらなんて絶対するわけがないって思うから、そんなくだらないトラウマなんか気にしないで食べてるんだよ。
Like the point is, the important point right over here is for Keiichi to make him remember why he was thinking that he had like a sewing needle in that Hohage that day specifically. Like why that is. Not because of some stupid comic or trauma from the past, but something else that he thought of that day.
でも、今でもちょっと怖いのですね。
未だに忘れられないってことは、今でも心の中にはちょっと残ってるのかもな。
では、そのミーのおはぎからは、出てきたのですね。裁縫針が。
ああ。 出てきた。
Inside the ohagi, there was a needle, just as I feared. Why was I telling her about something that was just my imagination? Mion and Rena came to see me when I took a day off from school while I was sick. That never happened, so obviously my brain was just making it up. But I spoke to Rika-chan because she said she wouldn't make fun of me.
圭一は目の前にあるこのおはぎにも針が混じっているように感じて怖いですか？だからさっきから手をつけられない。
I realized that Mion and Rena were also looking at me. They were wondering why I was staring at the ohagi without eating it.
あ、ケイちゃん、おはぎ嫌いだった？嫌いだったなら無理しなくても。
Mion was assuming that I didn't like ohagi. She felt bad for forcing me to eat something I didn't like. In turn, I felt guilty seeing the sad expression on her face.
お姉のおはぎなんで、中に何か妙なものが仕込まれてるって疑ってるんですよ。
I immediately denied Shion's remark. No one else would understand what I'm saying. Even I didn't know.
いや、はっきり断言できるぜ。ここにあるミオンのおはぎには針なんて絶対に入っていね
え。針？そんなのなんでおじさんが入れるわけ？
当たり前だよな。
Now, if we were to think about some spicy sauce, that would be on point for someone like you, Mion.
ミオンは確かにおとなしくお見舞いを持ってくるようなやつじゃない。タバスコを入れるとかそういう冗談はやるかもしれないが、間違っても針なんて混ぜない。シャレになることとならないことのけじめははっきりつけてる。
Now, Keiichi does say that. It kind of makes me think if subconsciously he said that because of previous fragment or it was just a random thought.
だからそんなことは絶対にありえない。
About the spicy sauce, like the Tabasco sauce thing. I grabbed the ohagi with my hand. As I brought it in front of my mouth, I felt the need to check it, just in case. But I told myself clearly, Hey, you wimp. When are you going to stop being scared of that stupid comic book? Mion brought these ohagi to treat everyone in the class. There's no way she'd put needles inside of these. I forced that stupid memory out of my brain and munched on ohagi.
お、うめえじゃねえかよ。
うまくて当然。針なんか入ってなかったでしょ？
そりゃそうだよな。本当にすまん。自分でもくだらないトラウマにずっと縛られてたって呆れるぜ。
My heart had stopped pounding, and I felt relieved. The next moment, I got the urge to say something to Mion. It wasn't the right thing to say, but I just felt like I had to say it.
おい、ミオン。
何？
おはぎうまかったぜ。
は？大きなカバンを担いできた甲斐があったよ。
I didn't know why I wanted to tell her again that the ohagi was delicious, but I was glad I said that to her. I was finally released from that odd feeling.
さあさあ、さとこもケイちゃんを見習ってかぼちゃをガブリといきましょう。よく煮込んでありますから柔らかいですよ。
シオンさんのお弁当は何を食べてもかぼちゃが出てくるんですもの。私がトラウマになりましたよ。しーちゃんはさとこちゃんのかぼちゃ嫌いを直すのに頑張ってるんだね。
シオンも熱心だよね。ま、将来の妹のつもりなのかね。
By the time I finished eating my ohagi, we had returned to our usual fun lunchtime.
ケイチ、もしもですよ。
うん。もしもなんだよ。
本当に食べ物から裁縫針が出てきたらどうしますか？
そんなことあるわけないね。リカちゃん、脅そうったって無駄だぜ。
ケイチ、それでも 出てくることがもしもあったなら。
Rika-chan looked at me with a serious face as I joked around. What's gotten into her lately?
しつこいぜ。そんなことは絶対ありえないし、信じない。
I had just overcome my stupid trauma after all that. That's why I made that firm statement.
わかりましたです。ケイチ、しつこくてごめんなさいなのです。もしも針が出てきたら、それはきっとケイチの勘違いなのですよ。
No.
ミーが混ぜたなんて絶対に思わないであげてくださいなのです。
Oh, well, okay. That I can agree with.
ミオンを疑うなってことなんだろ。ああ、当然だぜ。俺は絶対に仲間を疑わないぞ。
I raised my fist in the air. Rika-chan finally looked happy. She smiled as if she was relieved by my words. Okay, so going back to that theory of Keiichi has transcended, apparently not as much as I thought of. And the moments that we've seen before with, Keiichi giving Mion the doll and that discussion that we had at the toy store, it may be Keiichi progressing, like developing his powers more, but more on a subconscious level, rather than Keiichi being aware of what the fuck he's doing with Rika. So we're gonna have to give it some time. The items donated for the auction were gathered at the food shrine.
おお、いろいろとあるな。お中元のタオルセットとか使い古した家具あたりまでは想像してたが、何気に結構いろいろあるじゃねえかよ。
すごいね。テレビや冷蔵庫まである。それにこれまだ新品同然だね。
驚いたでしょう。その先家関係のお店から余り物とか店頭展示品とか売り物にはならないけどまだまだ新品同然のものをいろいろと供出してもらったわけよ。片遅れ品とかをあまり気にしないならちょっとは立派なもんでしょ。
電化製品に貼り付けてある日焼けした新製品というシールがなんだか哀愁を誘いますわね。
いやいや、サトコ、そういうのが逆にポイント高いんだぞ。他人の使用済みの道具よりは多少すすけてても未使用の方が気持ちよく使えるってもんだ。
みー、最近の若者は潔癖なのです。私はあんまりそういうの気にしないから、安ければこういうのもいいかな。
レナさんはさっきから家具類に興味があるみたいですね。一人暮らしでも考えてるんですか？
お父さんとお家の模様替えをしようって話になってるの。でもちゃんとした家具屋さんで買おうとすると高いから、こういうリサイクル品を探してたの。模様替えって家具まで買えちゃうんですの？ずいぶん大掛かりですのね。うちのお父さんね、つい最近やっと就職したの。だから新生活のための心機一転ってことで大掛かりに行きたいの。
Oh. So would this imply that this is happening like after Rika, I mean not Rika, Rina went away? You know, it kind of reminds me that I made this kind of mistake like in chapter 6 where instead of saying Rina, I said Rika, or instead of Rina, I said Rena. Rina, Rika, Rena, Rika. Something like that. But let me see. You're changing furniture. Your dad finally found a job recently, so you want to make a fresh start out of it. I mean, the dad finding a new job, that would imply that it happens like after Rina disappeared from what I remember. So, I don't know.
レナのお父さんは就職したのですか？
Rika-chan asked her. I was thinking the same thing. Did that mean Rena's father was unemployed until recently?
お母さんと別れてから丸々1年就職しようとしなかった。レナも怒ってたんだよ。ちゃんと働きなさいって。
Now, when I explained that with her usual smile, so it took me a moment to realize how serious it was. If what she said was true, her parents were divorced, and she wasn't living in a very good family environment. Rena talked about it like it was nothing.
お母さんとお父さんが別れたんですの？うん、茨城の町でね、離婚しちゃったの。それでお父さんとレナはHinamizawaに戻ってきたんだけどね。お父さん、離婚のショックからずっと立ち直れなくて、ずっと寝たり、ぼーっとしたり、遊んだりしてるだけだった。
離婚も失恋も相手を愛した分だけ傷も深まります。その落ち込みの深さは決して悪いものじゃないと私は思いますけど。
そんなロマンチックな話ならいいんだけど、それでお父さん、いつの間にやら悪いお店に入り浸っていることが分かっちゃったの。ある日預金通帳を見てひどい金遣いにびっくり。
レナのお母さんはさ、結構有名なデザイナーさんだったらしくてさ、相当稼いでたらしいんだよね。そのおかげでだいぶたくさんの慰謝料をもらってたらしい。
そのせいでお父さんは働かなくても生活できちゃったんだよね。それが立ち直りを遅れさせちゃった原因の一つかもしれない。
それは一理あるな。お金に余裕がなかったら働かざるを得ない。そうすりゃ忙しくなって落ち込んでる暇なんかなくなるもんな。
朝起きて登校や出勤をして夕方に帰ってきて食事して寝るっていう当たり前の生活習慣は乱れると結構堕落するもんです。私も学園から抜け出してきた後、しばらく無職な生活をしてたことありますからよくわかります。
お家に引きこもって一人でうじうじしているのが一番いけませんです。そうだね、リカちゃんの言う通りだったんだよ。だからレナね、お父さんときっぱり話をしたの。家長としての責任とか親としての自立とか、そういう話を互いに正座しながら一晩みっちりと。
レナって普段はチャラけてるけど、ここ一番ではきっちりしてるからな。親が相手でもきっちりってのはさすがだぜ。
そんなことないよ。レナも最初はショックだったよ。だってお父さん、なんだか知らない女の人に貢いでるっぽかったんだもん。娘としてはショックだよ。それでレナはどうしたのですか？一人で悩んでるうちは全然ダメ。悪いことばかり考えちゃって。だからみーちゃんに打ち明けて相談してみたの。
私は話を聞いて相槌を打っただけだよ。レナが自分で考えをきっちり整理して父親とちゃんと話をするべきだって結論したんだよ。
Okay, well, this is a key difference that Rena actually talked to Mion about it.
相談なんてとんでもない。
いや、そういうのは大事だろう。人に話すことで悩みってのは結構冷静に考えられるもんだしな。
Amen to that.
そういうもんですかね。相談する程度で解決する悩みならその程度だったってことじゃないんですか？
そんなことないよ、しーちゃん。私もみーちゃんと話をするまでは相手の女の人を闇討ちしようとか物騒なことしか思いつかなかったもん。でもよくよく考えてみればそんなの全然最善の解決策じゃない。まず話し合うことから始めないとね。それでレナは話し合ってどうしたのですか？お父さんがグダグダしてるのはお金のせいだってことになってね。口座を別の銀行に移し替えて通帳と印鑑はレナが預かることになった。だからお父さんは毎月私からお小遣いをもらってるんだよ。 なんだかレナさんのお家は親と子が逆転してしまってますわね。
Oh, wait, hold on a second. Okay, so would this mean that this is talking about a moment like very early on, when like the first days of the father meeting with Rina, and instead of having Rena experience those days in chapter 6 of how Rina was with the father at a longer stage in their quote-unquote relationship, to the point where Rina has dug her nails like quite deep in the father's money. Instead, here we're talking about like the early days of the father meeting Rina, and Rena talked to Mion about it, and instead managed to talk to the father about like being more careful with the money. And because of that, Rena managed to put a stop to Rina's plan, like into getting the money from the family. Now that Rina was taking even more of a charge of the father's money, Rina was like, "Well, I surely cannot go on like this, so might as well just change victim." And thus, Rina just went away. It's because Rena acted like early on that Rina is no longer a part of the picture, and thus none of the awful moments in chapter 6 happened. Wow. Jesus Christ. Everyone else laughed along with Satoko. I wasn't sure if I should laugh, but I saw Rena laughing too.
結局さ、むやみやたらな大金がレナのお父さんを堕落させてたわけさ。
Wait, so okay. You know, actually, this is something that I never thought of, because learning about Rena's backstory and like her situation, it is a very recent thing in chapter 6. So I never really thought about it before. Well, I have thought about it before, of course, because of chapter 3 and like thinking that it is going to be a repeat of chapter 3 in a way. But besides that, I haven't thought much about how this would fit into the other fragments. If this kind of situation like happened in chapter 1 or even in chapter 2, like Rina was deep in the father's money, or if Rena managed to get rid of Rina like early on. Okay. That is surely something.
金銭感覚が戻れば変なお店にも行かなくなるし、ちゃんと働かなくちゃいけないって気にもなるからね。
Yeah.
でもあれはいいタイミングだった。お父さん、知らない女の人のマンションの頭金を払おうとしている矢先だったの。
Yeah, and if that were to happen, we would have gone through the chapter 6 kind of timeline. But now it's completely different. Now, the question is this something new to Rika? Or is this something that she has experienced thus far? Because if this is something new, even better. But I don't know, it could very well be that like a fragment could have either or. It could either have like chapter 6, what happened with Rena, or we could have this. It's either one or the other. It kind of depends on what Rika thinks of this. Like how often it is that Rena manages to get rid of Rina like early on, or she just does nothing. It's either or.
危ないところだった。
レナが笑顔で話す割には、よくよく聞いてみるとずいぶんヘビーな話だな。一歩間違えば家庭崩壊だったんだよな。
そうだね。もしあの時私がみーちゃんに相談しなくて、 うじうじと今日を迎えていたら、今頃きっと。
Yes.
その女の人を殺そうなんて考えていたかもしれない。
Everyone laughed at hearing such a dangerous thing coming out of Rena's mouth. Yeah. Rena laughed too. But I saw something serious in her eyes. It was probably true that she once thought about murdering that lady. Oh. Maybe this is gonna jog Keiichi's memories as well. She seduced Rena's father so that she could get money out of him. Knowing how short-tempered I am, I might do the same if that happened to me. I think she made the right decision in talking to me instead of being irrational.
偉いよな。家族の問題なんて恥ずかしくてなかなか話せるもんじゃないぜ。
Yeah. It's definitely not easy.
そうだよね。みーちゃんに打ち明けようと踏ん切りをつけるには、レナもちょっと時間が必要だった。決め手になったのは夢なの。夢ですか？
A dream?
うん。あの頃は布団の中でいつも一人悩んでた。だからきっと夢の中でまで私は悩んでたんだと思うの。
In my dream, I thought about what would happen to me if I didn't do anything. I don't know if what I saw was my imagination or a prediction of the future.
夢の中の未来では、お父さんはその知らない女の人ともっともっと仲良くなってて、とうとうお家にまで連れ込むようになってるの。
My dad and I don't smoke, but there was an ashtray in the living room. Oh, shit! Could we have Rena remembering fragments too? Watch. By the end of the entire adventure, everybody's gonna remember. Like, I can definitely tell. Keiichi is just the very first that Rika notices, and now we're gonna see a little bit of Rena as well. The futon in our guest room was now hers. In the bathroom, there was a toothbrush and a shampoo I'd never choose to apply. It was an unusual sight.
それはとても嫌な、いえ、辛いシチュエーションですわね。
Satoko never told me, but I'd heard that she also lost her parents. I'd heard that she went through tough times when she was taken in by her aunt and uncle. Someone told me about that once. Wait, hold on a second. Okay, this is still Rena's perspective, right? Satoko seemed to understand Rena's pain very well. Okay, never mind. I think this is Rika.
うん。それはとても辛いシチュエーション。私は家に居場所がなくなって、だんだんと追い詰められていくの。
No, wait, hold on a second. Like it changed. It changed a little bit. Like at some point, it was Rika's perspective because she was talking about a dream. No, this is Keiichi. This is Keiichi.
それで、ちょっとした些細なきっかけで、私はその女を殺してしまう。
夢にしては嫌に生々しい展開ですね。それで？
そしたらもう私は人殺しなんだよね。誰にも殺しのことを知られたくないって怯えて怖がって誰も信用できなくなって、毎日毎日を死体を埋めた場所で過ごすの。その場を離れたら誰かに死体を見つけられちゃうような気がして、いつまでもいつまでも。
嫌な未来だな。夢の中だけで済んでよかったと思うぜ。
あれは夢だったのかな。私はね、あれはきっとそのまま何もしないでいたらきっと迎えた未来なんじゃないかなって思うの。
Or would you say that the dream felt like it was something that happened before? Have you ever had that feeling that it is something that feels very recent to you? That you are managing to describe it in such livid details that almost as if you remember it, even though maybe it never happened.
だから翌朝目が覚めた時、とても怖くて震えが止まらなかった。私とお父さんの家なのに知らない香水の匂いがするような気さえした。そしてその夢が現実になるのが来年なのか来月なのか、ひょっとしたら明日なのではないかとどんどん怖くなったの。そこまで追い詰められたらもうみーちゃんに打ち明けるのにためらいはなかったね。
レナがものすごい神妙な顔で内緒の相談があるなんて言ってきた時は、おじさんはてっきり変な検査薬で陽性でも出ちゃったんじゃないかと真面目に思ったよ。
Gee, it's almost as if you are to talk to somebody about your problems instead of doing things by yourself, maybe things would be different. You know, chapter 6, we have plenty of those kinds of moments. Now we have these moments with Rika and Keiichi, and now Rena and Mion.
まあ実際今だから笑い話だけど、当時は本当に笑えなかったね。
みーちゃんは本当に頼りになったよ。落ち着いて私の話を聞いてくれて、現実的な解決の糸口を探ってくれた。それでやっぱり親子でちゃんと話さないとダメだっていう当たり前の到達点にたどり着いたってわけ。それは夢ではなかったかもしれませんですよ。そうだね。ただの夢じゃなかったのかもしれないね。
もしその夢を見なかったら、レナはミオンに打ち明けなかった可能性もあるもんな。レナの人生を決めた重要な夢だぜ。
夢か。あんたも夢を見るんだ。へえ。
Shion had said something in a small voice. Only Mion picked up on what it was. I don't know what she said, but based on Mion's reaction, she must have said something serious. By the way, Shion usually went to school in Okinomiya. However, she'd been coming to the school in Hinamizawa lately. I didn't know why she chose to come this far, but she seemed to be having fun taking care of Satoko. I had no idea what brought Shion and Satoko together. Wait, weren't they on bad terms once? Oh? Is this another one of those, remembering something that you usually wouldn't, Keiichi? What makes you think of that? Huh? Is that true? Were they always that close? Or not?
だから思ったの。人と相談するのはとても大事。
We'll have fun in a normal way. We'll laugh together in a normal way. And we'll fall in love in a normal way. We won't doubt each other. We'll trust each other.
仲間はただの遊び友達じゃない。本当に大切なことを打ち明けられる重要な存在なんだって。そんな当たり前のことに気づいたの。
そうだな。だとしたらレナにとっては親子の問題を解決しただけでなく、仲間の重要さにも気づけたわけなんだな。
うん。だから私も誰かが悩みを持ったら相談に乗りたいし、助けたい。絶対に力になりたい。だから私が打ち明けるに足る仲間だと信じてほしい。とても大切なことをレナが言っていますです。
Rika-chan is right. We all nodded at her, without joking around. A moment later, we heard someone locking the door. We were all surprised. That person didn't mean to lock the door. She must have locked it by accident, not knowing that it was already open. She turned the knob, thinking that it was now unlocked.
あれ誰か中におった？
The lady knocked on the door. I could hear several other people outside the door.
あー、ごめんなさい。今開けます。
Neon replied in a loud voice and walked toward the door. I heard her greeting the ladies from the town council.
ちょっとみんな、手を貸してくれる？
なんだなんだ、どうした？
I immediately saw why Neon called us over. The people from the village committee had brought another donation. It was an old cupboard. We all helped to carry it inside the room. As I walked through the door, I realized that Higurashi was trying to cry, taking over from the cicadas.
ああ、前原くん。あんた叩き売りの司会を引き受けてくれたんね。
Yep, this big boy is going to be the host of the auction.
もうみんながあんたしか適任がいないんって太鼓判押すんよ。だからおばさん、前原くんの司会が楽しみで。
あ、いやせいぜい頑張りますので、あまり期待しないでくれると嬉しいです。
そんなこと言っちゃって。今日ここに来たのも売り物を吟味して売り文句を考えておきたいからなんですよ。当日は期待しましょう。
したら叩き売りはちゃんと来ないかんね。
The other ladies smiled and told me they were looking forward to it. It hadn't been that long since I moved to this village, but even these people offered me a position of huge responsibility during the festival. So you could say that they've accepted me as a member of this village. I caused so much trouble when I lived before that I couldn't even go outside. But they're accepting me as a member of the village? I was so happy. I felt bad that I still hadn't learned all their names, but I was going to do my best to entertain the villagers who were supporting me. Well, you have, like, the rest of your life. Well, if you are to solve this loop, like, disaster conundrum that is, like, past 1983, you're gonna have all the rest of your life to remember every single name in this village.
ミオンちゃんはどうする？まだ残るんかいね。
ああ、いや、もう私たちも帰ります。もういいよね、ケイちゃん。
まあ、雰囲気さえつかめりゃ、あとは出たとこ勝負だ。なるようになるだろ。
綿流しには興味ないんだけど、ケイちゃんの司会は見たいな。私も来ようかな。
シオンさんもぜひいらっしゃいませ。みんなで一緒に騒ぐのは楽しいですわよ。
私は反対。シオンは沖宮に住んでるんだから、沖宮の祭りにでも行っちゃえ。
レナはシーちゃんが来るの賛成。シーちゃんが来るとミーちゃんが面白くなる。では多数決により C の参加は決定なのですよ。
というわけです、お姉。当日は私のせいでお姉の地味っぷりが露呈しちゃうかもしれませんけど、まあ仲良くしてくださいね。シオン嫌い、シオン嫌い、シオン嫌い。
Whatever Mion says, I know that they're actually close. The more Mion tried to refuse her, the more it was obvious how close they really were.
じゃあ出よう。忘れ物とかない？明かり消すよ。
We made sure that we didn't leave anything inside and left the room. I looked around the shrine grounds while Mion locked the door. This big place will be filled with people on the day Watanagashi.
このだだっ広い境内がお祭り一色になるんだよな。なんだか全然想像がつかないぜ。すっげえ楽しみだ。
模擬店とかがいっぱい並んで人もものすごいたくさん来るんだよ。きっとケイチくんもびっくりするかな。
かな？
年に一度なんてケチなことを言わず季節のたびにやってくれてもいいんですのにね。
そういや、 季節の旅に来る人はいたね。はい、そんな人いましたっけ？
あ、それは俺もわかるぞ。この間会ったカメラマン風の人だろ。
Photographer.
名前はなんて言ったっけ？
圭一は富武を知っていますのですか？
Who?
そうそう、富武さんだったな。いや、先日の帰り道で会ってさ、ミオンとレナに教えてもらっただけだよ。
Nah, this is the first time I'm hearing this name.
妙にたくましい体つきの割に腰の低い感じのおっさん。季節の旅にひなみ沢に来てる熱心な旅行写真家なんだろ？
自称でございますけどね。
あの人が来ると今年ももう綿流しだなって気がするよ。それで綿流しが終わると本格的に夏が始まるんだよね。
そうだね。でも今年は暑くなるのが早いからもうセミが鳴いてるけどね。異常気象とかテレビで言ってますわね。温暖化がどうしたこうしたとよく聞きますわ。
へへ、暑い夏、大いに夏が涼しかったらなんだかつまらないぞ。
そうですね。季節通りの気候の方が気分がいいもんです。冷夏や暖冬はなんだか損した気になります。夏に負けないくらいこの夏の私たちも熱くいこう。綿流し祭、何人だ？綿流し祭六強爆闘だね。
今年の綿流しもみんなで一緒に楽しく過ごせますですよ。そうだね。楽しく過ごせるといいね。
お、レナは知らねえな。リカちゃんのは希望的憶測じゃねえんだぜ。本当の予言なんだぜ。だからリカちゃんが当日は楽しくなるって言ったら絶対にそうなる。だってこれは運命なんだからな。そうだろリカちゃん。
はい、運命なのですよ。
Rika-chan smiled with a nipa. Her smile assured me that the day of Watanagashi was going to be a great one for us.
当日さ、すぐにオークションってわけじゃねえんだろ？
うん、始まるのは奉納演舞の一つ前だから、夕方からならみんなで一緒に遊ぶ時間は十分にあるよ。
そうですわよね。初めてのお祭りなのに一緒に遊べないなんて気の毒ですもの。
ケイちゃんの叩き売りを楽しんだ後はリカちゃまの奉納演舞ですか。なかなかいいじゃないですか。
ということは僕は圭一の司会を最後まで見られず、途中で演舞の準備に行かなくてはならないのです。
Me.
へえ、リカちゃんも出番があるのか。演舞ってなんだ？やっぱり古出神社の巫女さんだから何か神事でもやるわけか？
綿流しの名の通り、お布団の綿を清める演舞と儀式があるの。リカちゃんがとっても頑張るから圭一くんもいっぱい応援してあげてね。それでねリカちゃんが巫女さん装束で重い細工をフラフラしながら振るうのがね、とっても可愛いんだよ。お持ち帰り。
I've never seen a real shrine maiden before. I'm sure Rika-chan really will look adorable. I was looking more and more forward to the Watanagashi festival. Rena, Mion, Shion, Satoko, Rika-chan, and I. The six of us will definitely have a great time there. How many more days do we have? I've never been this excited about a festival in my life. Alrighty then. Yeah, as I said, an amalgamation of the previous chapters. Just keep thinking about all sorts of moments that we had and kind of going on and fixing them in all sorts of ways. Satoko's snoring sounded so subtle while I stood by the window.
さとこ
Jesus Christ. your snoring is so loud. My god, you're snoring so loudly. I could tell that she was sound asleep. Alright, well, Satoko is in deep sleep right now. Time to go to our secret stash and drink the night long.
いびきが可愛いのですよ
Alright, let's choose our bottles right over here. Hanyu laughs and tries to poke Satoko's nose. I looked up at the sky. Nothing was different about the moon, but the moonlight seemed warmer than usual to me.
リカは機嫌がいいようなのです確かにそうかもしれない
I realized it only after Hanyu pointed out. I really was in a very good mood. Otherwise, I wouldn't be enjoying the view of the sky on a humid night like this. Felt like bringing a toast to the moon. As I rooted around the back of the closet, Hanyu spoke to me, sounding noticeably upset.
リカ、お酒はダメなのですよいいじゃない今夜くらい
Hanyu doesn't like alcohol. If I drink, Hanyu will also taste it. So she always complains when I try to drink. That's why I usually drink only when Hanyu is far away from me. Of course, she'll know right away when I do. Well, it's too late by then. She'll she'll be in the forest and suddenly she's gonna feel very, very tipsy. Boy, imagine.
ダメですダメですリカにはワインは早いのです
She is an old, 1,000-year-old witch in the body of a tiny little girl. An old granny.
リカは私よリカが飲みたいものはリカが決めるわ
Eh.
ダメです僕はワインが嫌いなのです
Alright. Took a bit of a break over there. Now, before we continue, my apologies, but I think I'm gonna do one more change to the sounds right over here, which would be like the music. Maybe like right like this? Maybe? I know that we convened on that level being the best in chapter 6. I remember that, but I don't know. For some reason, I'm feeling a lot more bothered by the music volume in this chapter. More specifically, I feel like some songs are definitely a lot louder than the others, and also I think that something is happening right over here when it comes to songs in particular, and I don't know if it's just me. Maybe it's me being paranoid slash like maybe my mind is making this stuff up, and I feel like I've noticed this in Yumineko as well, but I think that the volume of the music will change like throughout this whole stuff. Like I think it's something similar to how like when there is no dialogue, the music is going to be at a specific level, and when there's going to be like no dialogue whatsoever after a while, and it's just going to be just narration, the music is going to start going up, and until like the next line of dialogue from any of the characters, at which point the music is going to lower at some point. I don't know if this is just me. Maybe I'm being an idiot when it comes to that. I don't know if it's something that you guys notice as well, but either way, some songs are just loud for me, like when I edit this stuff up. So my apologies when it comes to that. For example, this song right over here. Like, this is a new song. Like, sometimes it can be really, really loud for me in comparison to, like, the other music and stuff.
今日は喧嘩はなしだってば。わかったわ。じゃああんたにも飲みやすいように甘いオレンジジュースで割ってあげる。
Okay, I don't know. I get the feeling that for the rest of my life, I'm gonna have like some issues when it comes to balancing music and sounds and all that. It feels like I'm gonna be very like self-conscious about music for the rest of my life when it comes to this sort of stuff. I
それならいいでしょ。ワインのあの匂いが嫌いなのです。だからダメ。
Hanyu jumped around and complained. She was making a lot of noise right where Satoko was sleeping.
やめなさい。さとこが起きちゃうでしょ。
No, she won't. Actually,
残念でしたなのです。僕はリカ以外には見えないし聞こえませんから、いくらトタンバタンしてもリカにしか聞こえないのです。あったんべー。あんたはたまに身の程をわきまえないわね。
I went to the refrigerator and took out a pack of orange juice and the spicy kimchi I typically use for a punishment.
はい問題。私がおつまみに激辛キムチをいっぱい食べて羽生が辛い思いをするのと、オレンジジュースで割った甘いワインを飲んで一緒に月を楽しむのとどっちがいい？
Hanyu clenched her lips while jumping up and down, ready to burst into tears. She should be disciplined for being that noisy. But she never has been, since I'm the only one who can hear her. Besides, she's like air, so I can even give her a spanking. Hanyu loves sweets, but she really hates spicy food.
リーカー、飛び跳ねるのはおやめなさいませ。
Satoko woke up suddenly, and I had to hide my glass in a hurry. Satoko doesn't know anything about my drinking habit.
今何時だと思ってるんですの。
She fell asleep again after speaking.
ほら、あんたのドタンバタンがうるさいって注意されたわよ。この安眠妨害。
Just like I'm the only one who can see her, I'm usually the only one who can hear the noise she makes. However, that's not the case all the time. Yeah, that is something that I was gonna bring up, because that was the whole point of me trying to figure out who like Oyashiro to begin with, like the footsteps and the noises, then jumping around. They say that Hanyu cannot be heard, but clearly she can be at times. I wonder what makes that happen though. During the times where she can be heard, Hanyu does exist in this world. Sometimes people can actually hear and feel her existence. It doesn't happen too often, and most people think that they just heard some random noise. And based on my experience, people who are in a critical condition like Satoko can tend to hear more often. Yeah? Like the disease, the footsteps. When I say critical condition, I mean who've reached the L4 stage, as Irie would describe it. The levels L3, L4 at that stage, there's nothing that can be done anymore. They will feel the existence and hear the noise of someone that they can't see. That would really mess with their mind. Okay, so maybe they are talking about the incurable disease. The one that I've been, like, looking after this entire time. So Iri and Rika definitely must know, which I've theorized about that up until this point, but damn! Hanyu stopped jumping up and down and gave up as I started pouring alcohol into my glass. I wasn't drinking because I wanted to be mean to Hanyu. In fact, I always wished she would enjoy it too. I poured only a little bit of wine inside the glass, and diluted it with plenty of orange juice. In fact, this cocktail is pretty much just juice. I also put some crushed ice inside the glass. With that, it looked like a real cocktail they serve at the bar.
ほら、羽生。これくらいの薄さなら平気でしょ。
I licked the edge of the glass to see how she'd react.
このくらいなら平気なのです。そう。じゃあ今夜はこの濃さにするわ。もう怖がらないで。辛いのはしまうわ。
Hanyu has been scared of that kimchi punishment for a while. As I put it back inside the refrigerator, she seemed relieved. I took the glass and headed back to the window. There was no breeze, but it seemed a little bit cooler.
ねえ、羽生。あなたも今回は何かが違うって感じてる？圭一やレナの話ですか？それから多分シオンもね。みんな過去の世界をごくわずかだけど記憶してる。そしてそれを生かして致命的な失敗を避けている。個々にはそう珍しいことではないと思いますです。でも圭一やレナ、シオンなどみんながみんな同時にそうなることは僕もとても珍しいことだと思いますのです。私はよく自分の運命をすごろくに例えるんだけど、これは3つ振ったサイコロがみんな6だったような、そういう幸運じゃないかと思うの。僕たちの望む未来に最も近い位置からのスタートという意味では、リカのその例えは正しいと思いますのです。でもこれはリカが期待するような意味の奇跡ではありませんですよ。
I knew what she was trying to say. She was telling me not to expect too much. The die is designed to have 6 sides. It's not a miracle if I roll it again and get a 6. True miracle is when I roll it once, but get a 10. Just like what happened with Keiichi in my previous life. In other words, a miracle is something that would normally never happen. Keiichi gave the doll to Mio. Rena spoke with her father, and Shion started taking care of Satoko after remembering her promise to Satoshi. That was all because they had those intentions somewhere in their hearts. It was only a side of their die that was engraved there already. But still, even if you couldn't call free dice rolling this well a miracle, it did mean good fortune.
リカが頑張ろうという強い意志を見せたので、天の神様が祝福しているのに違いないのです。あんたも神様じゃなかったの？リカは僕をいじめるときだけ神様扱いしますです。冗談よ。お願いだからいじけないで。そんなわけだから今夜はとても機嫌がいいのよ。
I lifted up the glass of orange wine and gave a toast to the moon. It tasted like nothing but sweet orange juice. It was funny to see Hanyu making a happy face as I took a sip.
今度こそ昭和58年の死の運命から逃れられるのでしょうか。
If you can escape.
逃れることがゴールのすごろくなのだとしたら、これほど幸先のいいスタートはもう二度とないかもしれない。
I guess one could say that if Rika dies, then Hanyu dies as well, so in that sense, yeah, it would make sense. No matter how hard I tried to prevent things from happening, there were some things I could never control. Such a huge letdown when that happens. Well, okay, let's talk about that. What are these moments that you think could not be controlled? And once again, try to think optimistically. Maybe there are some things that we can. Maybe there are some things that we cannot. And I want to know what those things are, because I'm thinking that it's something like in according to my conspiracy, you know. Even after trying so hard, something renders my efforts infernal. I've probably been wasting my time for so long because I was trying to escape from that pain. For the first time in my life, then, I've been blessed with a favorable situation. Everything seems perfect in this world. And there's no reason for me to be depressed. Alright, well, let's go forward and make it less depressing. We had a good streak. Let's roll the die again and get another 6. It's like the weather is perfect and the wind is blowing in just the right way. If I failed to put my ship out to sea, there was nothing to pin the blame on. I understood what Honey was trying to say, with a concerned look on her face. If I didn't escape my death on this fortunate situation, I'd have to accept that my fate wasn't something that could be changed. This is an ideal world where all my friends overcame their problems. I was always in the depressing world, but this time all the pieces of the puzzle matched. If I couldn't change my fate in this world, then it was proof that I couldn't change it in any world. That was the ending that I've been afraid of for a long time. Who knows? You know, even at this point, like this whole situation is something that not even you could describe it like 100%, even after all these years, Rika. We just don't know. Even if we were to have like the best favorable moments, like ever in this, and we still couldn't change the ultimate fate, maybe in the next one it's gonna be even better. Who knows? The loss of hope and the death of my soul. Of the pair of us, I was probably the only one who would die. Hanyu would most likely remain there, even if my spirit disappears. She must be afraid of being alone after I lose myself. That's why she's telling me not to expect too much. I bit down on an ice chip inside my mouth. It was pleasantly cold.
羽生、何度も繰り返した話で申し訳ないんだけど、また付き合ってほしいの。いいのですよ。どうしてリカが必ず昭和58年に殺されるかですね。うん。強い意志は強い運命を生み出す。ということは、私が昭和58年に必ず殺されるのは、相当の強い意志に基づいているということになる。おそらくそうだと思いますです。フルでリカを殺して誰がどんな得をするのかしら。強い意志があるのですから、おそらくは明白な動機があるものと思いますです。
Yeah, that can be very true. No matter what, to me, like after all these worlds, after all these fragments, your death and, like, in according to my theory, the person that is doing this, it is a constant. Therefore, whoever is doing this, and I'm thinking that it's Takano, they have a very strong will. They must have a very strong reason for them to do this. And they are succeeding in it. Well, kinda. Not all the time, it seems. Like, the disaster seems to be something that happens like every time, but the way that you die is... Like, okay, you dying is always a constant. The way you die is not always constant. it's not a guarantee that somebody's strong will always prevail, it seems. But nonetheless, that is part of the problem.
自分で言うのも嫌だけど、フルでリカは村人みんなに好かれていると思う。
Oh yeah, definitely.
一般的な村人に殺害動機があるとは思えない。少なくともこの村に住まう人間である以上、リカに好意を抱かない人間はいないはずなのです。あんたのおかげでね。
I mean, that's the thing. Up until this point, when I feared that Takano would be the one to kill you, for example, I don't think that they have like a specific motive of killing you because they hate you specifically, but it's because of some plan in the background that involves you, unfortunately, your powers, or the whole Oyashiro situation. Unless, well, let's think about it. Let's say that there is something personal. Maybe you, Rika, had something to do with your parents' deaths, and maybe Takano had something to do with your parents. My bad if I'm throwing this example right over here, Rika, but maybe your father had a thing with Takano, or Takano may have had like a one-sided love for your father, and because you killed your father, possibly, Takano is pretty damn mad about that, so that is one example of a reasoning. But other than that, it's very hard to pin down why somebody would want to kill you. Unless we're talking about something going on between the kids themselves. I don't know who though. Like even if we were to say like there's a plot twist where Satoko really hates you, I just don't see it. Or, you know, maybe we could go for a romantic spin right over here where maybe Satoko is going through something supernatural as well. It's just that we don't know yet. There's something that has to do with Lambda Delta. But maybe they are the ones who are trying to kill you like every single chapter because of something, and it's not coming from hate, but out of love. Ben Castel and Lambda Delta, they are weird that way. But okay, I'm just gonna drop the subject right over here. I think I'm going a bit too deep, and we were not at that possible stage yet.
今のは感謝の言葉よ。まあいいわ。長いこと疑ってきた園崎本家も違った。となると、私を殺したい人間や勢力が思いつかない。むしろリカにとっては世界中のどこよりもこの村にいるのが安全なはずなのです。そうね。世界中のどこよりも私を殺そうとする人間がいるどころか、私を守ろうという人間がいるはずなのに。
It's ironic. For a long time, I've been refusing help from all those who were trying to keep me safe. Now, here's the thing, like it kind of makes you question, does Rika not even question this in a whole conspiracy kind of thing the same way as I did, or something like that? But we do have to keep in mind that Rika said a very important detail. She doesn't know what happens after her death. It's always a guarantee that the disaster happens after her death. Hell, like after 100 years or so of her reliving these fragments, it's surprising to think that she has never heard of this. Well, actually, no, hold on a second. Yeah, it can't very well be possible that she has never heard of the disaster. Unless some detail has been told by Rika in chapter 4, but other than that, she doesn't know about the disaster after her death. So, I guess you could say that there is no reason for Rika to think like outside the village, like outside the box. Rika is now thinking inside the box, like inside Hinamizawa, thinking that maybe there is like a personal reason for one of the villagers to have done this, but no, it could very well be that there are some people outside that are doing this. Just, it's weird.
リカ、やはり入江たちを頼るのはどうですか？
People in this village love and cherish me. But no matter what, they never saved me when I tried to escape the fate of my death. I spoke to several villagers in the past, but they never believed me and none of them saved me in the end. They probably didn't believe me because I had no idea who was trying to kill me, or what their motive was. If I could explain that, people might be more accepting of my story. But there's nothing I can do about that. No one would believe a little girl saying that she's going to be killed without rhyme or reason. All they think of me is the reincarnation of Yashiro-sama, and the leader of the Furuta family. They do cherish me, but they won't protect me with their lives. On the other hand, Irie and his people are totally different. They realize how special I am, and they will try to make sure that nothing happens to me. They realize how special you are? In what way? If I confess to them that my life was in danger, I'm sure they would do their best to prevent it. They have all the means to protect me from a violent end. However, none of it really worked in the past. It's not that they're unreliable. It's because Takano, the one responsible for protecting me, also gets killed on the same day every time. In other words, asking her for her help is completely useless. She is very reliable, but she also isn't. It's ironic that I'm the only one who knows the reason why they can never save me.
それが狙いなのかしら。富武と高野を殺し、私を守る者を排除して、それから殺す。確かに高野たちの死は理科の死と密接に関係する先触れなのです。同じ運命なら、いや、同じ犯人が同じ目的でやっている犯行なら、あの二人の死をなんとか覆すことで、私の運命もまた覆せるんじゃないかしら。理科は多分覚えていませんですが、ずいぶん前にもそう言って実行したことがありましたです。
The deaths of Takano and Tomitake mean the loss of my protection. Okay, because the two of them died, the suspect is able to kill me. That's why I've tried to prevent their deaths somehow. But they never believed me. I tried so hard to persuade them, but they didn't listen. I eventually gave up and just thought of their deaths as fated to happen. I mean, the reason why I'm thinking that you can never convince Takano is because she's the one who is doing it, and no matter what you say or what you do, she's gonna go along with her plan of faking her death. It's the same hopeless feeling I used to have toward my parents when I was able to go farther back in time. When I found out that death was inevitable, I lost interest in them. After all that time had passed, I forgot how hard I used to try to prevent my parents' deaths.
それに、リカは入江たちのことは嫌ってると思いましたです。まあね、連中は明らかに私たちをモルモットだと思ってるし。
I support them so I can help Satoko, but it disgusts me to think that they're only using me as a test subject. Test subject? Guinea pigs? I've been resenting Irie for that reason. Still, I should try to get closer to him. After all, he's the only person who understands how important I am. He's the main person I should be talking to, and he has the most potential for protecting me. I can't avoid seeking help from him just because I don't like him. I've asked him for help several times before, but Tomitake and Takano get murdered even so, and it ruins everything. After their deaths, idiot panics and becomes useless. And that's why I gave up on seeking help from him. But in this world, I've been blessed with a positive situation. I will never have as lucky a start as this again. And this is the best chance I'll ever get, so I should give it my best shot. Okay? I really don't like him at all. But he is not a bad person. I should respect him more. He's serious about helping Satoko, and he's not as much of a mad scientist as I'm inclined to think. Like, I get the feeling that the reason why Rika doesn't like him is because she knows that a.k.a. is into something weird in like behind the curtains. So it could very well be that I'm right. Maybe we are talking about some disease that a.k.a. is working on. Like with this whole talk of L3, L4 stages and all that. But yeah, Takano is a strange person too. But she's also someone who can give me support. But she thinks I'm only her guinea pig. That's why I don't really want her help. Tomitake is more reliable than Takano. Who the fuck is this person? But the biggest problem is that he only visits the village a few times a year. On top of that, he always dies before I get killed, so he can never help me. Oh yeah, this Tomitake. You are a nothing character. You do absolutely nothing. However, they really are the people I should be talking to. If I can change the fate of their deaths, they should be able to save me from my own. Well, okay. Like, there are definitely some mysteries. I don't know how much Rika and a.k.a. know about this disease. There are definitely some things that Rika still doesn't know. But, you know what? I do have to agree with Rika's plan right over here. Obviously, it definitely seems that, I mean, of course, Rika has definitely thought of Tomitake and Takano being related to all this. She tried her best, but apparently she didn't come to any conclusion whatsoever. But I think we should try a little bit more. Let's, if we are to go after, like, in a specific direction, in my eyes, it would definitely be Takano and Tomitake. Let's see about them. Let's focus less on the kids and more on them. It's possible that the only reason I lived until 1983 was because of their effort.
高野たちに接触して彼らを救えるようまた努力してみようと思うの。あ、大丈夫よ。
Cause from all the description right over here done by Rika, it definitely doesn't feel like Rika has gone through the possibility that maybe Takano is faking her death the way I'm thinking. So if we were to push Rika into like changing the fates of them, maybe she would be able to figure out if Takano like faked her death.
どうせ殺されると思ってるから変に期待してない。だから期待を裏切られても全然平気よ。リカがひどいことを言ってますのです。
I chuckled at her comment.
もし死の運命から逃れられれば、私の運命に対して大きな影響を与えてくれるのは間違いない。そして今回は、それでも二人が殺されるのを前提に話をしてみようと思うの。つまり、二人が殺された後、私にも及ぶだろう危害への警護について、ちゃんとそういう指示を出してくれれば、高野たちの死後も私の身辺は強固に警備されているかもしれない。